All right. We've already started here. You may even caught a little bit of the green room before we really got live here with you. I am so excited about this Mindset Matters uh, focus, vision. All these experts coming in to be able to create like these dynamics around if you can clear some of that software that's going on, like in that mindset. We used to think it was hardwired. And right now we're talking about let's get rid of that stuff that's just like the old stories over and over. We're known to say stuff 90% of the time. It's pretty much the same thing over and over again. Today, I want to clear some of that and bring in some new, fresh synapses in your brain, some new stories, some new ways to really open up your vocals. I used to be so shut down. I used to deal with thyroid issues. Sometimes I still can if I really get into my crap. But we're going to talk about tools. We're going to talk about loving on yourself. I have Elaine Williams here, and she's going to be representing comedy, representing strong women-esque. Is that a word? I think so.
I
And,
like it.
and even, like she's in alignment with this hashtag speaker locking arms, which I speak about with blaming and shaming. We need to get out there, open our vocals, bring love to people. And it's just like the smile, just like the regular smile that you do, it's your vocals opening up because it really opens up the heart. Elaine has a lot of conversation around young women making decisions, really knowing and owning your body. And every time you get in a situation, make sure you're thinking in a clear mind, making those choices that are real important for you. And if you feel shut down anytime, I want you to keep coming back to Mindset Matters series here because you're going to get so many nuggets. It's going to keep reminding you when you get in your 90% cycle that it's going to really help you go here. Wait, so take some notes. Bring your journal in. Welcome in, Elaine Williams. I want to just say hello to you, my friend. Good morning and good afternoon, because I forgot you're like almost 12 o'clock. We're getting
Almost
into
12
dinner
o'clock.
here.
Hi, Rhonda. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here. And I love, love, love these topics. Mindset matters. And, I was just thinking about this the other day because I've been having more challenges than ever with family stuff. And I kept thinking, you know what? God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. That's the $1 million question. But like, I cannot control other people's behavior, but I
Right.
can control how I perceive it or think about it. And so I love that you're talking about this. And, our mindset affects everything. And sometimes we forget that we still have the power.
Oh, you're just jumping right in. I love this. And I think about this with even putting the base there, if we can build that too, Elaine, about and I want you to add in on your side and your expertise about what we're doing here. For me, I think about this 25 years of being in the health industry. How can we calm the nervous system? Because you like comedy, you like to really play with stuff, and you have those experiences where you've been on stages with people that we know. I mean, they're just people that we see on TV with comedians that are pretty well known. So you've been there, and I know with being so high as a good comedian that you also have had those big lows. And so I think
Oh,
about
yes.
this. I want to ask you a question, but I think about this. How can we calm the nervous system so that we can welcome in those new cells that we rebirth, that we birth every day? Wait to heal our body. Because every time that our nervous system is shaking, which is, when you're having a bad day, when you think a bad thought, which is that 90% cycle that goes,
Yep.
how can we bring this in? And so that's the base I want to hold here and the hashtag speaker locking arms. Elaine, can you share with me more about you were talking about your day and what you're dealing with family? What when you're talking about like what you have control and what you don't, what is your global vision out there? Like what do you do? What have you been doing out there lately? Because I bet you have a various things since you've been doing this for a while yourself.
Yeah, thank you. Well, my mission is still the same, and since I was a little girl, I was always like, "What's your dream? Why aren't you doing it?" I was that kid. And I had 3 addictions. I'm an assault survivor many times, domestic violence survivor. So I've been on this healing path since November of '97, and I'm so grateful that I had all the angels and teachers and mentors and coaches, and it's a whole village. And my mission is to help the helpers, to help heal the world with
Yeah.
love and laughter, one video, one story, one joke at a time. And I believe that God gave me this sort of loud voice and big personality so that I could heal myself and then help others do the same. And so my vision is, I would love to just erase addiction. I would love to, can we educate people about how to learn how to breathe into emotions so that we're not constantly trying to shove them down, because that's where the real suffering is.
Yeah.
And if we can help, not if people feel better about themselves, then they're not going to bully people. There's going to be less addiction, less violence. It's such a triple, it's like a ripple effect. And I know you think that, you believe that too. So, that's my vision, is just a world that works for everyone with nobody left out.
I
That's
love that.
really what gets me up in the mornings. And I think about, I was suffering, I was struggling, I was a highly um functioning addict, but inside I was a shell of a person. On the outside it all looked okay. And there are people just like that all around. And so that's why I share my sober story, but also why I love helping the helpers get their message out, because the world needs it. The world needs it now more than ever with all the craziness that's happening. And so, that's why I love healing, recovery, laughter can help people shift. You asked something about, how do people change their mindset if you're having like a rough day, right?
Yeah.
Because I know when I'm in it,
Yeah.
it's, I don't know,
Yeah.
this feels like Star Wars, the trash compactor scene where it's getting closer and closer, and in that moment, I am not capable of sitting, just meditate, just sit down and meditate. No, like that is, I like to meditate and I love it sometimes, but if I'm in a high state of agitation or anxiety, me trying to sit down is going to stress me out more.
Yeah.
And I think that there are a lot of people like me. So I have learned to move my body. I also call a trusted friend who's going to listen to me, but not like totally enable me on my bullshit, but just like, okay, I hear you. And what are you committed to? Like that. But also, like, if you can go for a walk, get outside, change your environment. I jump on my spin bike sometimes several times a day just to get those endorphins going and to get all the energy that's in my head back into my heart and my soul, and my gut. And so that, to me, even 20 minutes of some kind of exercise, moving your body, will help you get grounded and help you get out of your head. And I think that's one of the most, and you've been in the fitness world for a long time. I work out probably more for my head and
Mm-hmm.
my mental clarity, and then my body comes secondary, really. Like, that's how much I love exercise.
Yeah. Yeah. I started working out when I was 14, and partnering with you on this is like, I know that there were times, I used to be on thyroid medicine for 20 years, and I want to partner with you on this because I want to go in to how do we get out there when we have this chaos going on, but we still have this heart and this display of the things that we've done very well and that we're trying to move forward and keep things moving forward. So when I was 14, I was just going through some things, and I found out working out really helped me too. And working out was always a device, something that helped me feel, not that I was stuffing it down, but I could feel it being released and
Hmm.
being able to really quiet my mind so that I could really focus on what the positive was, that I was actually a good person. I kept thinking my skin felt terrible. I just felt like, why is my skin feeling so terrible? Why do I want to jump out of my body? So I know there's
Mm.
people that feel like that out there. And I bet you most of us do. Maybe they're not really tapped into it yet because they're so stuffed in. And so I want to talk to you that are feeling this way. I want to talk to you that are right on board with what Elaine is saying, is that no matter what, we are all the same when it comes to, there's different levels of grief in different ways, but we all see each other when we start what
Mm.
Elaine was talking about, opening the heart. So Elaine, with this thing about um, being a speaker and you knowing that you're out there to say, hey, why are you not in your dream? Why are you not doing
Right.
what you should be doing? Not should, but I mean, like, yeah, I mean, you were born and I can see all these gems in you. So why are you not
Right.
doing that? When you're having a day, when you're shutting yourself down and you know that meditation to calm yourself so you can clear your mind and move forward, there's some other things you have to do. How do you work with people when you see them and you see, okay, they're going through an episode that we need to get some stuff cleared here so that we can really get you out there and live your dream?
Well, I hold the container, I hold the space for them. And so many times I think people just need to be gotten and
Yeah.
heard. I'm like, okay, what's going on for you right now? Okay, you have this inner critic and it's super loud. Okay, well, let's look at that. So a lot of times people just need some encouragement and to help you break that pattern of like, we say, okay, I'm going to make videos every day. And then we start to press go and we go, our egos, our identity is like, no. And so how do you navigate yourself? And I have been learning how to navigate myself
Hmm.
for years and years and years and years and years because I'm still human. And even though I'm a ham and I love performing, I still have moments where I'm like, what are you doing? You're not funny. You were funny last night. You're not going to be funny tonight. Like, I still have those freak out moments. And I've learned, like, oh, I'm just nervous. Okay. Thank you for sharing. And what are you committed to? And I also think when people can lean into the quote fear that could also be excitement because it feels the same, when you can learn to lean into that and ride it with your breath, it will become your best friend. It takes practice. It's like surfing. So a lot of times people I find are like, well, when I get confident, when I feel ready, and I have some good news, bad news. Like, you may never feel 100% ready. I'm a pro, and there are some times where I've like had the time to really deeply rehearse, and I'm like, oh, I can't wait. Let's just go. Let's just go. And there are other times where I'm like, oh, I wish I'd run this. I wish I'd started working on this a week early. Like I'll have like, and sometimes I know that's just my inner critic
Yeah.
trying to keep me safe. And I also have like, I do warm ups. I do physical, spiritual, mental, emotional warm ups before I go on stage. And I pray, okay, God, when I get off, if I lose my way, help me come back. Help me find my way. I also pray, help get Elaine out of the way so that you can come through. Because my favorite thing in the whole world, whether I'm speaking, doing comedy, singing, is when I am so in the moment and I am so connected with the audience.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes I don't even remember everything that I said or did because I was communing. We were communing, which to me is like what we're all dying for, is that connection. And so I love it when I come off stage and I'm like, I don't even know what I did because I was so in the moment and so like over with my people that my attention was completely off of myself. And I was so prepared. I knew exactly where I was going. And even if I got thrown off, I could come back. So, and I wish that for everybody because it is such a joyful act of service to
Yeah.
be able to commune with people, to really deeply connect. I just love it.
Yeah, I've heard people call that like you're an intuitive speaker. Like, but when you're virtual, I mean, you're like intuitive in the divine, like you just know that you are serving a purpose here. And there's a way to redirect people to say, hey, this is what we've been talking about. Come over and listen to this video, and this is why you need to hear this if this is your calling today. And so I hear we're right now, you and I were creating tools for people just to come and listen, like to get that motivation. And what you brought up about that, you're at the beginning there about like that people, you believe that people really need to be seen and heard. Like when you start giving them that space, there's some kind of safety there that you're finally not feeling like you're, but you're really all of a sudden going here, wait, I'm having a hard moment here. Oh, I just thought about what that I just stopped myself from, going down the rabbit hole further because I've
Right.
stopped myself from doing that. So when you're doing the let's say you're in a talk. Let's just give some information about like how you deal with this, because I bet you're just teaching this with others also. Let's say that you're not in that divine space yet and you're starting off your talk. You didn't even get enough opportunity to really get your head set straight. And you thought, well, okay, I tried to get out there to God and the universe, and I'm trying to get out there and get my mindset. But then they're like, okay, Elaine, it's ready time to go. And you go, okay, I'm glad I practiced. You start going, but you really didn't get that flow. Like what you said, man, I hope everybody has that flow. So so you get lost because you're not having that flow, and you're like, what's the next thing I'm supposed to say? What's it like? And you start kind of deep inside, not that you're saying it to everybody, like, please help
Right.
me over there, please help
Right.
me. Could someone help me over here? Like, where am I at here? But I could see you actually. I could see your comedian chops coming up if
Well,
you
and
feel shut down, maybe that'd be your go-to. But
absolutely. And, I tell people, like, I think as speakers and female entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs, we put all this pressure on ourselves. Like, I should have this handled. I should be more confident. I should, and that's, you talk about blame and shame and stuff. So instead of saying, okay, you know what, I'm human. And whenever we stand up in front of a group of people, whether it's on Zoom or live, there is extra pressure. And sometimes when we feel pressure, often we think we're more memorized than we actually are, because all of
Mhm.
a sudden we got nervous. Now, if you were comfortable, you could probably do the whole dang monologue or talk, but all of a sudden you add in lights, audience, and it's like, ah, you know. And so again, that's why warming up, breathing, prayer, meditation, hard workout. But then also, I'm a big fan of having what I call cheat sheet. So I don't memorize, but I'll have the order, and I'll have just one word that's my cue.
Yeah.
And so if I get off, I can always go over and say, "Oh, I need to get a sip of water." And then as I'm getting the sip of water, there is my cue sheet. And I can just briefly glance down. Okay, so as I was saying, and it's no big deal. Now, if I went, "Oh God, I'm so sorry, hang on," if I made a big deal about it, then that's weird. But if I just said, "Oh, let me just get a sip of water," and then you can kind of look at your notes. So that to me is one of the most grounding things, just knowing if I do get off, if I get lost, and if you're really connected with your audience and you're coming from a place of service and love, you can even say, "You know what? Where was I lost my train of thought. Oh, yes. Thank you. Yes. 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 Yes." So, and again, it depends on the stakes and the pressure and all the things. But, Rhonda, you and I, we've known each other for a while. I love to create partnership with the audience, right? And that takes feeling connected with yourself, your why, and why you're there. But instead of being like, okay, hi everybody, I have to be this perfect performing person so that I can hopefully wow you and make sure that you're entertained or whatever, like that's a place coming from a place of I hope you like me. I hope you like me. And that's how I was when I first started doing stand up. Instead of coming from a place of hey, we're gonna have fun today. This is a conversation. It's not just gonna be me up here talking. I'm
Yeah.
gonna be looking in your eyes and seeing, what do you think? Are you with me? Yeah. What about you, ma'am? Yeah. And do you ever do that? So when the audience feels like you're there to create partnership with them, like you're not going to do anything to them, you're going to talk with them, that creates partnership. And then it's like they want you to win.
Yeah.
And when they are rooting for you as a speaker, you're going to feel that and you're going to be more on.
Yeah.
Like in a comedy show, I used to say to the audience when I was the MC, you're the most important people here. Because if you're really into it and you're laughing, that makes the comedian even funnier, which makes you
Yeah.
laugh even more, which makes the comedian even funnier. Like the audience is so important. Now,
Yeah.
obviously, you can't do that in every situation, but if you can come out there like, hey, it's the last session before we all go to happy hour, and we've been at this conference for 2 days, and you can tell everybody is like, so I'm going to make this quick and painless because you're probably tired of sitting here listening to people. All right, cool. Can you give me 20 minutes? Okay. Like if somebody said that, I would be like, she just spoke what everybody else was feeling in the room. That's
Yep.
powerful. That's
Yeah.
powerful, right? And so
Yeah.
it's about being authentic. It's about really connecting and coming from the place of you're creating a community with the audience. You're here to give them something and they want to get it if you can create it with them instead of feeling like they have to be like, who is this person? I don't know. Does that make sense?
I'm appreciating that you are talking about connection. I think this whole thread is about connection, like with your audience, and then with yourself. And so we're
Yeah.
getting close to like having to say goodbye because we're here almost like at 9:30, 11:30
Oh
your
my
time.
gosh, it went by so fast. Okay.
I know because Elaine, we need to have a full day together. This is what we need to do. You and I have been talking about this. Like, there's something that we need to do with each other because there's just so
Yeah.
much we can play with here. And audience, I can't wait to hear from you. We're going to make sure that you get to know more about Elaine. Hey, Elaine, since we're exiting out, what's something that you really feel is the most important thing why you wanted to be here today, what you wanted to share, making sure I capture that for you.
Okay, well, thank you, Rhonda. I would just encourage anybody who's listening, whether you're a mom, a soccer coach, a business owner, a healer, a therapist, an author, nobody does it like you. Nobody does it like you. And sometimes we get inspired and we think, oh, I want to share this quote. And then we have this inner critic that goes, oh, everybody knows that. Or people know, everybody knows about video or whatever, right? But I want you to take a deep breath and I want you to express yourself. If you feel motivated to share about your work or something that inspires you or a client story or whatever it is, because nobody does it like you. And somebody needs to hear exactly what you have to say. And ask me how I know, because I'm in the 12-step world and I personally have helped save a lot of lives, but I see it every day. I'm a middle-aged, short, white lady. So there are some people that cannot hear me, and that's okay. I appeal to different people, but there's somebody else that they can really relate to. And so I just encourage you, it is our responsibility to share our gifts, our learnings, our wisdom, our experience, our strength. It is our responsibility to share that when asked, when it's appropriate, when we're called to do so. And if you're not sharing that, I invite you to step up. It does not have to be perfect, but the world needs you and nobody else does it like you. And you don't be stingy. It takes courage and compassion and strength to truly share yourself, but that's what we need now more than ever. So that's what I want to leave people with.
I love that. Thank you, my friend. So here I say hashtag speaker locking arms. Elaine, what do you
I
say in
love it.
your vision?
Well, I love that hashtag speakers locking arms. I guess my one of my favorite is captivate the crowd.
Yeah.
Like wherever you are, if it's 2 people, if it's 20,000 people, how can you share from your heart and your gut
Yeah.
and and captivate them so that then they are inspired to go out and help and do things.
And there we go. Thank you, my friend. Thank you for being in Mindset Matters. I appreciate you so, so much.
Thank you. Bye,
All right.
everybody.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Elaine. Everybody have an insightful day. We'll get some more Mindset Matters and we'll get you connected with Elaine. Elaine, if you can send me your information where you'd like to send everybody, I would appreciate that.
Okay,
All
sure.
right. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Rhonda.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, honey. Okay.